Some insider knowledge, CaseOh's hoodie is actually a triple XL Snuggie and it doubles as a car tarp, but you'd never tell otherwise. Just a heads up, you guys remember my putts video? This will probably go a bit like that. Case Baker, known professionally as CaseOh, is a streamer slash YouTuber slash TikToker slash anchor weight as well as a part-time medicine ball until he lost his job when people realized trying to lift him did more harm than good. He's best known for his streaming career as well as reaction content, despite his picture-in-picture taking up a majority of the content. He's claimed to be 6'2", which would put his weight somewhere between Juan Pedro Franco and whatever a sperm whale weighs. It's almost impossible to confirm due to his default setting, which is seated, typically with a chair that's pneumatic cylinder gave out years ago and its legs have been reduced to nubs.
Help me! Help me!
CaseOh is easily identifiable by his hoodie, red hair, and fluffy beard. And also, he's really hard to miss. Being of ginger descent has its ups and downs for CaseOh. So for instance, if he allows his pubes to grow out enough, he shouldn't have any trouble finding his cock. Alternatively, not having a soul means he's less likely to get into heaven, and he's from a Christian background. But as some of you may suspect, even if he could, not even God's tractor beam could pull his fat ass up. The ultimate downside, though, is he's unfortunately still a ginger. That motherfucker looks like King Fergus ate his entire family. But let's go back a bit to get a full picture, and by back, I mean timeline. To get CaseOh fully into frame, you'd have to step back a quarter of a mile, and I don't have all day. CaseOh started from humble beginnings, growing up in Arkansas under a Christian household. He took an interest in basketball at an early age, but was dropped due to his inability to make three-pointers, as the players couldn't throw him that far, and he was unable to fit into NBA-regulated hoops. He does claim to go to the gym, although the number of times he's been there, he still isn't sure where to place his order, or even what they cook. CaseOh does maintain a decent bit of exercise, yelling at chat, and having silly meltdowns on stream.
Whoa! Let me on the game! Yeah, you're canceled. Yep, you are canceled and banned. GG, buddy. You look like Jay Sky. And who is Jay Sky? Oh, it's not who is Jay Sky, it's what is Jay Sky. Because it's a very flat!
But he really tends to break a sweat on the handful of occasions that he can manage to lift himself out of his chair, better known as the two massive ass prints on wheels. Before his streaming career began, CaseOh held a position as a maintenance worker, most likely due to his extensive knowledge on cracks, holes, and internal congestion, as well as clogging. In fact, I'd go as far to assume that he creates 90% of the work he receives.
Bruh.
He was also engaged in lawn mowing. Jesus Christ, did CaseOh write this himself? And while we're on the subject of careers and life goals, I'd like to one day make this a full-time career with more frequent uploads, varying content, and more in-depth and informative on top of what you already see. And if you want to make that happen as well, it's as simple as liking the video, sharing it with someone who gives a shit, and leaving a comment and letting me know how I did. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's keep that ball rolling to 50k subs. Yes, I'm still doing this bit. Also Patreon, also merch. He began his streaming career on NBA 2K. Pounds. And he steadily increased over time, so much so that people have begun to compare him to a 1x1 Lego block, which is an absolute lie. As you can tell, he clearly just opens the fucking pack and eats the whole thing.
What do you mean bro's built like a 1x1 Lego piece? What even is a 1x1 Lego piece? Yep, you're banned. Have a good night.
So a majority of CaseOh's content is based around his viewers selecting new games for him to play, which, I mean, in turn, it helps him foster an interactive and fun community, but honestly, it's equally as possible that CaseOh, recognizing his diet up to this point, has a knack for poor decision-making and opts to just leave it up to his audience. In turn, a big feature of CaseOh's live streams is his horror games, in which he requests his viewers to strap on their diapers, assuming CaseOh's already loaded up one for himself, or the more likely possibility that he realizes the endeavor was ultimately pointless, as any single shit from CaseOh would automatically pack the diaper over capacity, and he'd end up having to change it anyways.
I just crapped on myself.
Throughout his time on Twitch, it seems CaseOh has gained a significant following with regular donations, bits, subs, and gifted subs, leading to massively financial success in the hopes that his chair might receive the proper mental, emotional, and physical rehabilitation it needs and deserves. Since the boom of CaseOh's channel, he's seen an incredible influx of sponsorships interested in working with him directly, from Rascal Scooters, the Heart Attack Grill, YLYL support bras, Walmart's Hyper Tough tarps for trucks and SUVs, as well as replacing the Michelin Man as the brand's iconic mascot. He is also well known and well respected for his philanthropy, donating thousands of dollars every month to the Heart Foundation as well as YLYL because that's how he gets his insulin. Although CaseOh's yet to comment on why he doesn't participate in fun runs. And due to his rapid popularity, he has been invited on various podcasts and streaming parties, and he's even been invited to try his hand at voice acting. He's just recently had to give up the prospect, though, as his high blood pressure and being heavily winded between simple words.
Ow! Ow! Chad, I'm cooking right now, I'm cooking.
But for those of you interested in the big screen, you'll be happy to know that CaseOh landed a role in Godzilla and Kong as a background kaiju, pretty visible throughout the entire film. Over the course of his short but successful career so far, he's dipped his toes into a number of games, and as expected, those dips would cause tsunamis unlike the world has ever seen.
Okay, why is there such a big wave being emitted from me when I'm walking?
A few moments later.
But at this point, it seems he's never tried his hand at League of Legends, despite quite possibly being the skinniest player to ever compete. And apart from sports-related games that he could never hope to participate in, he enjoys other ventures, such as running a failing card shop, which is the only form of running he'll ever experience, with overpriced items and a venue that only smells half as bad as his gaming chair when he plays FNAF and other horror simulators. But due to the declining sales, poor customer service, and recently unmanned register, it's believed that CaseOh's business will be filing for bankruptcy in less than 3 episodes. We were able to reach out to a former employee who was recently let go from Case's Card Cavern, and although he was disappointed with his former boss's decision to fire him, he does appreciate the opportunity to work there and wishes all the best for Case's success. Strong words for a brave man. CaseOh, you fat fuck, how could you? Other similar controversies has recently sparked outrage amongst his community, including CaseOh's misunderstanding of the English language and its US interpretation, including words such as route, originated, entendres, among many others.
There we go. What else needs restock, chat? Okay, the sentimental attachment to a pillow.
And I swear, CaseOh, if you call me ruder, I'm gonna take a safety pin to your fat ass and watch the McDonald's fall out as you deflate. I'm kidding. I really don't give a shit what you call me. Considering he's coming from an Arkansas education, it's not hard to believe that he also struggles with simple grammar, as a typical high school diploma there is probably the equivalent of a 3rd grade education in most other states, excluding Louisiana and Alabama and Ohio and Wisconsin and West Virginia and probably Virginia as well.
And you know the thing with your Achilles is, if you rupture your Achilles, it snaps in half and it rolls up the back of your leg into your kneecap.
According to CaseOh, he has a fear of flying, which is unfortunate because had he been on Malaysian Flight 370, it would have never made it to the sea. In fact, I'm sure his only fear of flying comes from the fear that the plane would never make it off the ground with him inside. On his Wikitubia, it claims that he lives on his own in a trailer somewhere in Arkansas, but I find that incredibly hard to believe that you could successfully modify a trailer to fit a door frame or skylight that CaseOh could be successfully crane lifted out of, and although I do believe he still resides in Arkansas, his location may be a bit more complicated than one might assume. So if you actually go to Google Maps and zoom into Arkansas and then into the Dallas County area where he's from, you can zoom out from here, and there's CaseOh. To sum this video up, CaseOh is an anomaly. A massive orange anomaly. But we love him, because despite the endless number of fat jokes I had to write for this absurdly stupid script, he's such a good sport. which is funny because CaseOh clearly doesn't play sports. Love the content, dude. Hey, thank you guys so much for everything you guys do for this channel, from tuning in every week, leaving your support and honest feedback, and just being such awesome people to me. I couldn't ask for a better audience. A big shout out to my patrons, Jessica, Pulped Milk, George, and Jesse. Thank you to my artist and editor. Don't forget to check out my merch and join me on my Discord or my Patreon. All of my links are going to be in my description. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. But until next time, be well.
Yep, you're banned. Have a good night.